Okay, so we extend a very warm, a heartfelt welcome to all of you to this educational guidance program for education in USA. My name is Hiten Bhuta, and I'm one of the volunteer with Global Kapol Vikas and Sakar Trust. It is an absolute honor to welcome you and especially welcome our distinguished speaker and guide, Mr. Ryan Pereira, who is responsible for US India Educational Foundation and Fulbright Scholarship and has an enormous track record in a excellent track record of education, counseling, and academic success. We are really honored, Mr. Pereira, with your presence here. And we also have our own community member, Pragna Bin Sangvi, who is going to be speaking on, she's from Atlanta. Mr. Pereira is based in Mumbai, India. I'm here in Tampa, Florida. And all the Global Kapol Vikas and Sakar Trust volunteering team is spread across United States and India. We want to welcome all the youngsters. Over 140 youngsters had registered their names for this event. 117 are already online. So all of you, all the young boys and girls, we really welcome you and we appreciate your interest and commitment for a higher level of excellence in your academic success and your desire and intention to acquire the best education possible by coming to USA, by learning in the distinguished US universities. Mr. Pereira, this is a unique organization, Global Kapol Vikas. It is for most people outside, let's say, the Kapol community, or people are not familiar with this, would think of all Gujaratis as one. But in Gujarati also there are different communities, and Kapol is a very successful community, and it's a community of entrepreneurs, very enterprising people, and a lot of Kapols who have joined here, all the young boys and girls would also have a very unclear idea about what Kapols are and who Kapols are. So think of Kapols as a educational institution group. Like I have studied in IIM Ahmedabad, so I'm a member of IIM Ahmedabad alumni group. So Kapols are like from one school of thought, one school of thinking for generations. And so all Kapols are like a alumni of Kapol institution. And what is the Kapol institution stands for? Hard work, honesty, success. So we're going to start with playing a small video about a 2-minute video about Kapol community and the organization. So I'm going to play that video, and after that, we'll request Mr. Pereira to take over. And so all Kapols are like a alumni of Kapol institution. And what is the Kapol institution stands for?
Global Kapol Vikas presents a golden opportunity for Kapol brothers and sisters to connect with each other. Through Global Kapol Vikas medium, get trusted referrals for matrimonial, job, business, going abroad, donations or scholarships. Use the strong Kapol network to your advantage by building powerful relationships with other Kapol families around the world by participating in Global Kapol Vikas network. Attend and participate in Global Kapol Vikas Zoom meeting on second Sunday of every month from 9:30 p.m. to 11 p.m. India. You are invited to discuss a range of topics related.
Let me see if I can share the screen. 1 minute.
Global Kapol Vikas presents a golden opportunity for Kapol brothers and sisters to connect with each other. Through Global Kapol Vikas Medium, get trusted referrals for matrimonial, job, business, going abroad, donations, or scholarships. Use the strong Kapol network to your advantage by building powerful relationships with other Kapol families around the world by participating in Global Kapol Vikas Network. Attend and participate in Global Kapol Vikas Zoom meeting on second Sunday of every month from 9:30 p.m. to 11 p.m. India. You are invited to discuss a range of topics related to the Kapol community like matrimonial, retirement, business success, social projects, art and culture. Everyone has an opportunity to volunteer in any project of your choice. Almost 70 plus Kapors have already joined as volunteers. Over 5,000 plus Kapor families from all across.
Okay, it seems my screen is not being shared. So, 1 minute. There was some problem in sharing the screen. So we are going to start with the program. I will just introduce Global Kapol Vikas is a community organization, Mr. Pereira, and those of you who are present here. And the objective is to support all couples in their all endeavors, education, matrimonial, business, various philanthropic activities. And we conduct program on second Sunday of every month from 9:30 p.m. to 11 p.m. India time. So we're going to request Mr. Pereira. I'm going to request Hitali to introduce. Hitali Bhuta is part of the Global Kapol Vikas youth team to welcome everyone. Yeah, Hitali.
Yeah, welcome everyone. I'm very glad to see everyone over here. And it is so amazing to see that so many people are interested to study abroad. And I would say that it is a kind of a transition when you come to a different country for studying. I experienced that as I came 2 years back, and it can be overwhelming, and at times it can be difficult because the system is completely different and you don't know anyone who can guide you or support you in taking courses of your choice. So I think this would be an amazing session as Mr. Ryan is with us and he can completely guide us how to take the courses, and first of all how to apply and how to get the visa, and then finally come to US and study. So I'm very excited for this session. And if you have any questions or any doubts after this session, you can contact me, or you can even personal chat me during the session. I'm always available for everyone. So let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.
Hitali is a volunteer with Global Kapol Vikas, and she is a student of University of South Florida. And she studied in India first, and now she's studying in US. So she had the first experience of learning both in India and US. And as Hitali said, Mr. Pereira is the perfect man to give the right guidance because he is responsible for Fulbright Scholarship and Education USA Foundation for Western India. And he has got a 10 years experience in guiding and counseling students. He has done his molecular biology and biotechnology courses. He's taught that. And he has also done postdoctoral research in Cornell University. And he has done a Bachelor of Science in Geology and Biochemistry from St. Xavier's College. And he has done Master of Science from University of Mumbai and PhD from Ohio State University. What an honor it is and a privilege it is to welcome Mr. Pereira and to listen to you. Yes, Mr. Pereira, you can unmute yourself.
Thank you very much, Hiten, for inviting me to do this presentation. It's always a pleasure to interact with young minds who are interested in pursuing higher studies in the US. As Hitali also mentioned, studying in the US gives one a whole different perspective. It develops you not just in education, it develops you as an all-round person. What I'm going to talk to you all today is about the process of applying for higher studies in the US. I'm going to start sharing my screen. There we go. So I represent Education USA, and Education USA is the US Department of State supported body to guide students who want to pursue higher studies in the US. So we are the official people who guide students who want to pursue higher studies in the US. If someone had to contact the US consulate or the US embassy in India and say, I want help, you'll be directed towards Education USA. So Education USA is present in almost every country where the US has a presence. So we have 430 plus centers in 170 plus countries. And the goal of Education USA is to provide accurate, comprehensive, and current information to students who are thinking about pursuing higher studies in the US. So currently, there are just under 2 lakh Indian students, 193,000 plus Indian students studying at US universities. Indians make up the second largest population of international students after China. So what does this number of 193,000 tell us? It tells us two things. The first is that the US continues to be the most sought after destination for higher studies for Indian students. And the second thing it tells us is that applying and being admitted to a US university is a lot easier than you might think. So the process itself takes quite a long time. But if you do things the right way, chances of being admitted to a US university is very, very good. Now there's lots of information all over the place about how to apply for higher studies, which colleges to apply. Everybody wants to tell you what you should be doing with your life. Okay? Friends, families, seniors, teachers, everybody wants to tell you what you should do for your career. Remember this, the only person responsible for your career is yourself. So you have to take control. You have to take responsibility for your career. You cannot depend on what others are telling you. And the other thing about this is that a lot of the information that's out there is not always accurate. So you have to make sure that you get your information from an accurate source. So to overcome that, Education USA has broken down this application process into 5 simple steps. Research your options, finance your studies, complete your application, apply for the student visa, and then get ready to go. And all the information about what I'm going to talk about is available on the educationusa.state.gov website, and it's always free. So when we think about the first step in the application process, I'm going to put, Hitali, I hope you don't mind me, but I'm going to put you on the spot. Can you unmute yourself and tell me what is your first thing that you thought about when you thought about applying for higher studies in the US?
Okay, so first of all, I was totally confused how to go about. I had no idea, no clue how to choose universities or where to apply. Actually, I didn't know which course should I apply to because the courses are kind of different as we, study in India. So first few months were like totally overwhelming. I didn't know anything, but gradually as I researched, I saw the university websites. I could get a lot of things, and I would say that all the universities have very like student friendly websites. They have complete information about their courses, and many a times I used to email the career guidance department of the university, and I would like get quick reply from them. So that was very useful.
Thank you so much for that. So when we ask students this question, what is the first thing you need to do when you're thinking about higher studies in the US? We always hear back answers like choose the universities for the courses I'm looking for, or take the GRE exam, or the SAT exam, or the TOEFL exam. Or the question is, the answer we get is, think about how you're going to finance your education, or what documents are required for the visas. Those are all very important things, but they're not the first thing you need to do in this process. The first thing you need to do in this process is to do a self-evaluation. What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? What are my career goals? Where do I see myself in 15 years? What skills do I need to develop to achieve my career goals? Once you understand that, then you can follow the rest of the steps, looking for universities and programs that will give you those skills. So don't jump thinking about which are the top 10 universities in my field. Are those top 10 universities going to give you the skills you require for your career? That's far more important to think about. So that's why when we talk about the application process, we always emphasize the student has to be involved in this process. You know yourself best, you know what's right for you, you know what your career goals are. Be involved. Don't just depend on what experts are telling you to do. So when we're talking about higher education, you can apply for education for the intakes in either spring or fall. Spring is usually the January, it's sometimes called winter intake. The fall is the August or September intake. All colleges will admit in fall. Most colleges will admit in spring, okay, but not all. Under the deadlines aspect, for the undergraduate, you have three types of deadlines. You have the regular deadline, you have the early decision, and the early action. Early action and early decision, you apply by October, you have your result, you answer by December. Regular decision, you can apply anywhere depending on the university from December all the way to May, and you'll get your result depending on what the deadline is. The graduate students, those applying for master's and doctoral programs, you either have the priority deadline, which is always usually also December, or you have the regular deadlines, which sometimes can extend all the way into May, depending on the universities. For those applying for business programs, they have what are called rounds. You have the first round, which is in October, second round, the deadline will be in December, and then February, and maybe a fourth round in April or May. And you also have different types of colleges in the US. You have the big, large research universities, which are called comprehensive universities. They could be either public or private. Public is they are funded by the state governments. Private is they raise their own money. You can have the smaller liberal arts and sciences colleges, which are generally meant for undergraduate students, but some of them also offer some master's programs. And then you have the specialized institutions like the music schools and other tech schools. So no matter what it is you want to study, there are 4,700 plus US universities, accredited US universities. There is a university that is there for you. So going back to step one, research your options. I talked about doing your self-evaluation. What is it that you really want to study? Why do you want to study it? Okay. How do you know this? Education USA has put together something called Define Your Priorities. It asks you various questions. It's a worksheet that you do. It's a 9-page PDF. You can download it on the educationusa.state.gov website. You do this worksheet, it gets you thinking about what it is that do I want to do with my career? What skills do I need? What course might be appropriate for? It just gets you, it's not a comprehensive self-evaluation. It's just a tool to get you started thinking about your career and what program might be good for you. Once you've done that and you have some idea of your career goals and what it is you want to study, then you start looking for universities and you narrow down your choices. And then you go, as Hitali mentioned, go to the university's website and you check the specific requirements on the university's websites. Now, there are lots of search engines one can use to search for universities, and there are lots of lists about rankings. Okay? It's very, very important to state that in the US, there are no official rankings of US universities. So all those rankings you see are by publications, okay? And they all have various varying criteria. And all the rankings that are out there, all of them are always voluntary. That means some universities will choose not to participate in rankings because in these surveys, because the philosophy is we are in the business of education, not in promotion. Just because a university is not ranked doesn't mean it's a bad university. Okay, so keep that in mind when you're thinking about this process of which universities. I keep all the time, the students will always come and say, which are the top 10 universities in computer science? And that's not the right question to ask. Okay? Top 10 by who? So when you're looking for universities, it's very, very important that you look for what is the best fit for you. It's always about what is the best fit for you. It's all very well being at the brand name universities, the Ivy Leagues and such. But what happens if you get into those good universities and you find that you can't keep up? It's not the best fit for you. You're getting the brand name, but you're not doing well. So it's always important to look for universities that are right for you. And that's why you know yourself best, you know what you can achieve. Be involved in this process of looking for universities. There are lots of criteria one can use when searching for universities. You could look at the program, the studies, you're going there to study, so you should, does it offer the degree you're looking for? You can look at, I mentioned we don't like rankings. I'm not saying that you can't look at rankings and the reputation. It's okay, you can look at them, but don't base your decision based only on that. You should also take other criteria. What are the acceptance rate? If I apply, if 100 students apply, how many students are admitted? Is it 6 or is it 20? What are my chances of getting in? What is the size of the university or the department that I'm applying to? What are the faculty profiles? What kind of research is going on if you're applying for a master's program? How much does it cost? Is there financial aid? Okay. What are the facilities available, both for living facilities as well as for research? Is it in a big city? Is it in a small city? Okay, you have to decide amongst all these criteria, what is really important for you? And based on what's important for you, you can shortlist universities accordingly. So we like people to think about when they're starting their research, to have a list of about 15 or 20 universities that they've shortlisted initially, and then go more in depth into those 15 or 20 and bring it down to a final list of about 8 to 10 universities that you will apply to. Out of these 8 to 10, you'll have a range of universities. 2 or 3 of them will be ambitious, 5 or 6 will be more moderate, and maybe 1 or 2 safer universities. So you have that range to apply to. Once you've identified which universities and which programs you're going to apply to, then you start thinking about how you're going to finance your education. So when you're thinking about finance your education, you first have to have an idea of what is your budget and how are you going to pay for it. Okay, so you have to identify what is the cost of attending the university that you're interested in. Once you've done that, then you start looking for sources of funding, and finally you put together your financial document, and we'll go through that in just a minute. So on average, at a 4-year undergraduate program in the US, tuition plus living will be around $42,300 a year. And at a 4-year private university, it's about $55,000 a year. Again, these are averages. There are some expensive public universities, there are some cheaper private universities, but on average, the public universities tend to be slightly cheaper. The other thing that you'll also see on this slide is when we are considering about cost of attendance, we're not looking at only the tuition. We're talking about everything: housing, transportation, books and supplies, everything. Because it's not only good enough to think about how am I paying for the tuition, how are you going to pay for your living expenses has to be as part of your consideration, as part of your calculation. So the tuition cost will be your educational instructions, the facilities, lab equipment and lab fees and all that, and libraries. Living cost will be room and board, the books, transportation, your personal expenses, the health insurance, the security deposits, if you're going to be renting your apartment, things like that. And these costs will vary dramatically from university to university. Depending on the type of school, I mentioned publics are tend to be cheaper than the privates. It also depends on the location. When I was at Ohio State, I was renting a nice 1-bedroom apartment, 10-minute walk from my lab for $400 a month. Okay, and it was a relatively new building, AC, everything. I then went to work at Cornell University, and I was renting a similar 1-bedroom apartment in a much older building, but I was paying $900 a month. Now, it might not seem like a lot, $500, but multiply that into 12, into 4, and it adds up a lot. $6,000 a year into 4 is $24,000 just on living expenses additional. So keep that all in mind when you're making your budgets. So once you have an idea about your budget, then you can start looking at ways to fund it. Most of the times, undergraduate students in the who are applying from India will use their parental support. Parents, when we talk about parents, it's a family support. Okay. Then the other option is to get university scholarships or financial aid. You can also work for 20 hours a week on campus for maximum of 20 hours a week while you're a full-time student. Okay. And then you can also apply to external agencies for financial aid. So in India, as part of the CSR, a lot of the trust houses, the J.N. Tata Endowment, the Narottam Saxena Foundation, the R.D. Setna Trust, the K.C. Mahindra Trust, they all have financial aid for higher studies abroad. I just want to go back a little bit on this on-campus work. While it is an option for students to earn some money and reduce their expenses, one needs to keep in mind, what is the purpose of you going to the US? It is to study. Your focus should be on studying and not so much on earning a low-paying job. Okay, so keep that in mind. Unless you absolutely need the money, you cannot attend the university unless you make this money. Your time is much better spent doing well in your studies, doing research, publishing a paper. That's going to help you long-term in your career rather than the small working in the library or the cafeteria, things like that. Okay? So keep that in mind. So the application process, one of the differences between the US and other countries is that in the US application process starts a lot earlier and it's a much, much longer process. So you have to start about at least 1 year in advance. So you need to, for those looking at undergraduate studies, you need to start thinking about taking the SAT, ACT exams around this time, June to August. Okay. Then you'll start filling out the application form, the Common App and the other application forms usually open in August 1. And then you can fill out the CSS profile, which is the financial aid form by College Board. That can be done anywhere from October to February. You send in all your applications. If you're applying for early action or early decision, you'll apply by October, early November. And if you're applying for regular decision, you will be applying between December and all the way into April next year. So the process takes 1 full year. Start early. The application packet will contain the academic transcripts for the last 4 years of your education. So for undergraduates, it'll be from 9th standard onwards. It will include your standardized exams, the SAT, the ACT, or now they don't have SAT subject anymore. The English proficiency test, either one of the TOEFL, IELTS, or the PTE, or the Duolingo. And then you have the letters of recommendations, application essays. Sometimes they'll have a video essay or a portfolio if you're applying for architecture or something. You also want a CSS profile, and if you're an American citizen, you should be filling in FAFSA as well. And in some cases, they'll also ask for a resume. Most for the undergraduates, the resume is not that important. Universities love to ask for financial documents at the time of application. In most cases, it's not absolutely required at the time of application. It will be required once you've been admitted. And some, especially the more prestigious competitive universities, they will always have an interview as part of the application process. The graduate students, again, you always start 1 year in advance. You take the GRE, the GMAT exams. You start filling in the forms a little later. We like them being filled out around October. You send in your applications around late October, early November, or sometimes even December. During the Diwali vacation, you'll get your essays, letters of recommendations, and everything ready with the entire application packet. You send in your applications. We like them being sent in by December. Between January and April, the US universities will look at the application, decide whether you qualify for the admission and whether you qualify for any financial aid. So once that happens, they will send you a letter saying, congratulations, you've been admitted to our program. Please send us your financial document, proof that you can pay for it. Once they receive that financial document from you, they will then look at that document, and if they agree with it, they will send you what is called the I-20. And with that I-20, you apply for your visa. So the graduate application package is also, it'll have the academic transcript of the last 4 years. So everything after 12 standard, okay? First year of bachelor's onwards. They'll require the GRE or the GMAT exam and one of the English exams. Again, they'll require the letters of recommendation, the application essays. Again, sometimes they also require, especially for the business programs, a video essay. Here, the resume is quite important. And if you're applying for a doctoral program, then proof that you've done research. So a manuscript or something would be really, really useful. So as I mentioned, you send in all your applications by December, January. By April, you should hear back from the universities. Once you've been admitted, they'll ask you to submit proof that you can pay for your education. Once you send them the letter, they will look at it, the bank statement, they will look at it, and they will, if they agree with it, they will send you what is called the I-20. Once you got the I-20 is just a one-page document. On the left-hand side is the program that you've been admitted to, the duration, how long it's going to take, what date you should report at the university. And on the right-hand side will be how are you paying for it? Where is the source of funds from? Is it the parents? Is it the university? Is it external funding? Whatever. But all those details are mentioned on the I-20. And it also has a very important service ID at the top of the page. So once you've got your I-20s, you then can go to the ustraveldocs.com/India website. And on that website, you will apply for your visa. And you can go to the educationusa.state.gov YouTube channel, the Education USA India YouTube channel. And on that, you can see a recording by a consular officer walking you all step by step of the process of applying for a US visa by a visa officer. So it's very straightforward, the process of applying for a visa. You don't need anybody to do this for you. If you've done things the right way, applying for the visas will be quite straightforward. Once you've got your visas and everything is ready to go, then you have to still start getting ready to go. So Education USA has a series of events lined up for students who've been admitted to a US university. We call it the pre-departure orientation. So as part of this, we'll talk to you all about how to gather all your important documents, scan which documents should be scanned and kept for, how to make your arrangements for accommodations. One of the things I see over and over again, students love to have everything ready 2 months before they get to the US with their accommodation. So they're basically making arrangements for housing without actually seeing the house. And I don't think that's the right way to do things. There's plenty of time to do it once you get on campus. Attend the pre-departure orientation. It's by people who've studied or currently studying in the US, talking about their experiences, and they'll give you real life tips on how to prepare for life in the US. And once you've done all that, then you can make your travel arrangements for the US. During this pandemic, Education USA, all our offices in India are working virtually. We're still not open for visitors, but there are many, many ways that you can connect with us. We're here to help you out. So you can go to the Education USA India calendar and you'll get a list of all our events. It's also on the website that I'm going to talk to you all. Okay? So you can go to the educationusa.state.gov website and get all the list of all the events, or you could just click on the Google form, bit.ly edusa sign up. You'll get on our databases, and then once a week you'll get the list, an email with all our events. We have 8 centers in 7 cities in India. We have a center in Ahmedabad, which might be of interest to the whole community. And we also are present in Bangalore, Chennai, Delhi, Hyderabad, Kolkata, and I'm in charge of the Mumbai office. So this is just giving you an idea about all our services. Okay? We have our regular calendar. We have a toll-free number. We have an Ask an Advisor. So you go to the bit.ly edusa Ask an Advisor, and you'll be talking to a live advisor even after hours and things like that. And then we have a lot of presence on social media. So we have the YouTube channel, we have the Facebook channel page, we have Instagram, and we're also on Twitter now. So follow us, stay in touch with us. We're here to help you. Okay. This is the contact information for all the centers, email addresses, and the phone numbers. Please remember that Education USA is funded by the US government when we don't have any tie-ups with any particular universities. We represent all the accredited US universities. So please, services are there for y'all. The US government has provided the service to y'all. Use it. Okay? Thank you very much. I'll be happy to take any questions y'all may have.
Thank you, Mr. Pereira, for an outstanding presentation. Your presentation indicates your mastery and authority on this subject, and it indicates what a great experience you have in guiding students. And those students who are present here, apart from this enormous, powerful support of Education India Foundation and Mr. Pereira and his team, you also have the support of Global Kapol Vikas volunteers who are present in United States. We have Pragna bin Sangvi. She is based in Atlanta. Pankaj Bhai Mehta, he's based in California. And Neela bin, based in California. We are here in Florida. And we are like a small community. We are like a family. So those Kapol students wishing to come here, they can get the guidance and support from the Kapol community as well. And I wanted to play a little video. So I'm going to do that and then request Pragna bin. Pragna bin is a passionate, really passionate supporter for community work. She is very keen in helping all the Kapols flourish and progress. and she's going to give some guidance on the financing of your education. Let's watch a little video and then we'll request Pragna Ben to share her ideas. So this video will give some idea about the community which is present here and the kind of work which is happening. Okay.
Global Kapol Vikas presents a golden opportunity for Kapol brothers and sisters to connect with each other. Through Global Kapol Vikas medium, get trusted referrals for matrimonial, job, business, going abroad.
Okay, there's some problem with the Zoom, so I'm going to request Pragna Ben to start her presentation. Start her presentation. Huh? Okay, Pragna Ben. Pragna Ben, are you able to hear?
Hello, am I audible? Hello?
Pragna Ben, we cannot hear you.
Yeah, I can hear.
Am I audible?
Yeah, it is fine now. It is fine.
Thank you so much.
Okay, there are some questions being asked for Mr. Pereira. So everybody wait for 10-15 minutes. Pragna Ben is going to quickly explain about the financing part, and then you can ask the questions to Mr. Pereira. And the presentation given by Mr. Pereira would be available online. And if he sends us the PDF or PPT, Hitali will send it to everybody. Okay, Pragna Ben, please continue.
Thanks, Mr. Pereira, for your valuable information. And definitely it is going to be helpful for our global Kapol Vikas for success and betterment of our community. I cannot see. Give me 1 sec. Okay. Sorry about that. Jai Shri Krishna to all. Thanks, Mr. Pereira, for your valuable information for the education for our global communities. And definitely this is going to be a success and betterment of our children. Thank you so much. Jai Shri Krishna to everyone. First of all, I would like to thank everyone for joining here at GKV platform in spite of your busy schedule. Friends, I'm Pragna Sangvi from Atlanta, Georgia, living for 22 years and student finance and accounting professional. Worked very well with the parents and students and given some options to get their students in the better place. I will share some lights on various student finance options and several tips to nail the process and live their life happily in USA. We always say education cost, but no education cost you more. You know what is meant by that? education cost is going to abroad to study in a great opportunity to further your career is very quality for education in USA is incomparable. But if one has a good education and if they have a good knowledge, if they are good in career, of course they are on top. But why I say no education cost you more? The reason is, if you don't have a good education, you will not be on top, even though you will not be more successful. Today, parents and children are thinking about the tuition fees and living expenses in USA. I understand it is very, very hard, but if none people will make an efforts to arrange the funds, in future, definitely they will be repenting, oh, I got an opportunity to go to USA for study, but I missed that opportunity. Sorry. Mostly, Mr. Pereira has given all the information about the education, visas, and everything. But still, I will just touch base some overview topics on student visa, scholarship for Indian students in USA, education loans in USA for Indian students, student paying out of pocket, and private loans to cover full expenses. Also, I will cover some topics for US citizen and green card holders, student finance for the young generations, and references and links. Also, I will cover some of the points and tips for the best life in USA. Student visa, F1. After you have been accepted and enrolled in the college, one can start application for the American F1 student visa. If you are a student from India, F1 student visa is must to study in USA. This visa is made for students who are willing to study abroad. If you decide you want to go and get the education in USA, make sure first you decide whether your decision is right. Are you going to commit that? Because behind that, in a lot of exercise are there. Like parents have to be very, very careful about their funds. So these are also the very important issues before you apply for the F1 student visa. Scholarship for Indian studies, Indian students in USA. Fee waivers are awarded to international students on the criteria of merit and need those students who are in strong academics, as Mr. Pereira said about the standardized exams, have a good performance and extracurricular achievements eligible for scholarship awards and financial assistance. Studying in the USA, United States is the dream of many, many Indian students. Degree is expensive, but with the support of scholarships are possible to overcome the problem. What types of scholarship? Most universities will offer some kind of financial aid to the international students. Your selected college should be your first choice of the finance. Merit scholarship. Students who are academically strong and shows good result, players or gifted with some strong capabilities will qualify for merit scholarship. Government scholarships. The United States government offers many scholarships for international students based on their study and the academic requirements and scholarship commission. Privately funded scholarships. Sometimes private business or donors will also fund targeted developing countries and minority group of specific students. because they want to bring their main targeted or their country or minor group into good condition. That's why they just sometimes offer private scholarship. Now, just I wanted to give you a little bit idea about why it says tips. In addition to the above criteria, there are a range of scholarship available for students in the USA. Research online, be vigilant, and enjoy the benefits of free money. Scholarship distribution are mostly first come, first serve basis. Many international students miss out these opportunities as they fail to apply in time. This is simply because there are no more scholarship left. Watch out for the deadline and scholarship deadlines. Sometimes they are different, and biggest mistake is miss the deadline. Education loans from Indian banks for students in USA. Biggest challenge one always faces for study in the USA is to arrange for funds. We all know that cost of living and studying in country like USA can be fairly expensive. Everyone cannot afford it. However, thrive to study abroad will always overcome these hurdles. Arranging funds is one of the most crucial parts of the exercises. Indian international students have a very hard time getting a student loan, that because, well said, while the task might be difficult, but it is not impossible. So it is possible. Thankfully, there are many banks available for Indian students. Below are the few names to check on it, their process and criteria to know about the bank. Mostly all nationalized, who you bank with, go and check with them. Definitely, if your credit and your criteria is good with them, definitely they will offer you the loan for the US studies. HDFC Bank Education, SBI loan scheme with collateral and non-collateral securities. SBI ED Advantage also have a collateral securities loan, but have a very high amount they will lend to us or the student. What is collateral? Collateral, in order to borrow the funds, any property, movable or immovable, which can be offered to a bank as security in order to reduce the risk involved in paying off the loans. Any liquid assets such as stocks, bonds, gold, mutual funds, LIC policy, fixed deposits are accepted by bank as collateral. What is moratorium period, or it's also called grace period? This is the time period during which the borrower will not make any repayment to the bank. This period varies from bank to bank. So please check on it before you take the loans. Now, student paying out of pocket and private loans. What is meant by that? Many students parents have already saved the fund for their children to go to school or the college or the abroad studies, or they are well-to-do, or they have a well-established business, whatever the reason is. So they don't go for borrowing any money or any loans from the lenders. So that's called out of pocket. Indian students have a fair number of options to go for when it comes to taking a loan. Each of them come up with a different rate. Each of the banks come up with the different rates and benefits. You just have to be thorough. Find the right lender, good rates. There are few banks such as Citizens, Wells Fargo, Discover offer the loans in USA. Students, but the amount of borrow in comparison of India, borrowing will be very, very high. So my suggestion is that if you try from loans from India will be better than asking the lender to lend you money in USA. Comparatively, the rate will be very high. Also, it will be very difficult to get a loan as an international student. Why? Because there is no credit history. Non-US citizen has not built up any credit history. Foreigners, may they leave? You never know. So there is no recourse for the bank. Third thing is very, very important. It says need co-signers. What is meant by that? Need co-signers means for private loans, there should be someone who is US citizen, well established, and have a good credit records. They can co-sign the loan application form or loan lending form with the student. Now, do you think anybody will co-sign? In this perfect world, I just have one story to share with you guys. I have heard student came from India. He wanted to get a good computer education in masters. There were family around, and some people are generous. So sometimes students take the benefits and advantages, I can say disadvantages of the person with their generosity as their weakness or kindness as a weakness. So what they did, he just got the co-signing loan. He completed his education. He bought house. He married. But you know what he did? He did not relieve that person who co-signed. Is that true? Is that right? No, that's not right. That's why getting all this one by one issues, people in USA don't want to co-sign for any students. And that's a bad luck for one fruit, bad, taking whole basket out. Now, until this, I have shared for non-US residents finance options. But today, I would like to share some more thoughts on US residents and student finance. Now, FAFSA. What is FAFSA? FAFSA is just like a free application for federal student aid. Every eligible US citizen or green card holder need to fill out the FAFSA form. Why they have to fill out the FAFSA form? Because it's kind of their financial health checkup. FAFSA includes your family annual income, all other financial aspects to determine for free money eligibility based on EFC to pay for the college tuition. Now, what is the EFC? EFC word is expected family contribution. Calculation is based on the family contribution may get grants, interest-free loans with the grace period to pay for the college. Now, what is grant? A grant is a form of financial aid that does not have to repay. Free money, huh? Very good. But there are certain restrictions that students have to complete their program. Otherwise, certain percentage of the program is not completed, students have to repay that because that's a government fund and government will not give fund freely. They want something in exchange. A variety of federal grants are available, including Pell Grant, federal supplemental grant, teacher grant, education grant, and many, many other grants will be according to your states. So scholarships. Scholarships also are available for international students. Okay. For scholarship, you guys, every students have to go through website and many, many other businesses, institutions, which always have some funds saved for the scholarships. US residents has options of student finance loans. Ultimately, payback. It's not free money, it's payback. But there are certain types. There are few types of loans for the student and parents can borrow for the tuition and other expenses. You as federal government offers different loans. Their grace period month after graduation to repay. There is another loan also called Parent Plus. Is for the parents as borrowing for the child or for the dependent child. This loan is credit based, no grace period, need to start paying back once child has completed the college. What is meant by credit based? Credit based is parents have to have enough good credit score in order to get the loan in lower rate. That is very, very important. If parents have some default in student finance or some loans have not repaid or some debt issues, maybe they will not qualify for the Parent Plus loan. So ultimately, every parent's main responsibility, honest responsibility, is make sure their debt ratio is lower. Now, let me tell you something about investment opportunity. There are many other plans for the better education. This, what I am talking, is an opportunity for the parents. When the child is very small, a baby, a few years old, what parents should do? They should save, they should open a plan and save some money every month or deposit some money in that plan every month, so it piles up. It piles up. And once child is ready for the college, like 20 years, they will have a lot of money, so they don't need to worry about taking further loans or paying out of pocket or arranging any funds. But instead of that, child or student is entitled for the free money withdrawals. Also, this invested fund can be used for other purposes too. So it is totally it is honest, it is totally nice and reliable plan according to federal government. Everyone is so glamour for the America. Oh, wow, America is this, America is this. But no, mind first about your lifestyle. United States is a dynamic country. People are from all over the world is there to explore themselves. They want to do something here. Some people want to just have a luxurious life, glamorous life, and they are not committed for the study or completing the program. No, that's not right. Make sure you are committed. To mingle with the local crowd, you need to keep in mind that the lifestyle of Americans, again, I'm repeating, lifestyle of Americans is lot different than Indians. Lot different than Indians. Of course, you need to know. Of course, you need to learn that lifestyle, to include more activities to know them better. Know your states, which states you are going to college. Know your states, their popular and favorite places. Know about your professional sports, outdoor activities, music, concert. Every weekend people go to social events, music, concert, performances. But you have to be very, very alert before you go anywhere, any places. Just this was the tip. I know you guys are coming from all over the world. You are coming from far, far, far 7 seas, and I'm 100% sure culture you will be bring that culture and ethic in United States when you land here. There are few references from where my presentations and guidance was for you. So please refer those, but make sure, one thing I want to let you know, make sure that every student's finance is different. It's not general. That's why I just overviewed. It's not general. It's like everyone's health. Everyone's health is not equal. One prescription does not suit to other. It's the same thing. Financial checkup. So finance is like one apple, one orange. It does not match together. So it is kind of apple orange. So anytime when you go for, if you hear, oh, she got free money, I should get free money. No, what your finance, what your aspects of finance, what your criteria of finance is taking, there only you will get few dollars free or loans or whatever. So this is just the little bit hints that apple and orange you cannot compare. I heartily thanks our Global Kapol Vikas and their team to give me an opportunity to share my knowledge, thoughts on student finance on these GKV platforms. I know it will be very, very important, but anybody for anything, I'm from Global Kapol Vikas. And if anybody need any assistance, please call me, contact me, Pragna Sangvi. My email ID is sriprag2008@gmail.com. And I will be always available for you guys. Almost all Mr. Pereira has given the good figures and everything. So that will be more edible to my presentations. Thank you, Mr. Pereira. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for joining. And in spite of a busy schedule, I'm glad there are over 100 numbers here and many, many more in live YouTube. Thank you so much. Thank you, Hatali. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pragna-ben. Pragna-ben is all the students from India. Pragna-ben is like your elder sister, available here. She is passionate. You can see her passion. And thank you for a detailed study, Pragna-ben. She has a lot of knowledge, experience, a very big network here in Atlanta. Pankaj Bhai, we are Pankaj Bhai is like 24/7. Any Kapol need any help, anytime, Pankaj Bhai is available in California. So with that, we are going to take the questions. Mr. Pereira, there are many questions. Those who want to ask the question can either raise the hand or otherwise I will read out the questions that have been asked. Anybody? Okay. Manish Doshi, go ahead, Manish.
Yeah, hi. This is Vishal Doshi. My father's Manish Doshi. So
Okay.
I've been accepted in a college of Savannah, Georgia, for Masters of Architecture, SCAD. And I have managed to score myself a scholarship. But I was looking for more ways of getting state scholarships or private scholarships. How do I do that, and how am I eligible for those?
Hey,
Okay.
First and foremost, congratulations on your admission to SCAD. It's a great school.
Thank you.
And the architecture program is also pretty good. With regard to funding, I would look at some of the local trusts. If you're based in India, I would look at the J.N. Tata Trust. I would look at the K.C. Mahindra Trust. I would look at the Narottam Saxena Trust and the R.D. Setna Trust. Those four, and there are others, but those are the four good ones.
I'm sorry, your voice is breaking a bit. Could you please repeat?
There's the J.N. Tata Endowment.
Yeah.
There's the K.C. Mahindra Trust.
Correct.
There's the R.D. Sethna Trust,
Correct.
SETHNA, and there's the Narottam Saxeria Trust.
Okay.
Just check. I don't keep track of what their deadlines for applications and all that, but I do know that they provide financial aid for higher studies abroad. And I would also look at some of the other big industrial houses, because as part of their CSR, they do have some aspects. But these are the big four.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Everybody who wants to ask the question, please start your video so that we can see you. Okay, Janvi Dosi, you go ahead. You have the video on.
Mute. Yeah.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can.
Yes, we can.
Yeah. So actually, I wanted to ask that I'm currently pursuing food nutrition and dietetics from SNDT,
Slow down.
and I'm doing it from Mumbai University, so it'll be ending in 2022, and I want to pursue masters in that in clinical dietetics. So like, how do I go about with it? Like from searching to the colleges and everything.
If you have a pen and paper, I'm going to give you a website. I can give it to everybody. Graduate students, we like the petersons.com. I'll actually type it up in the chat for everybody. That'll be everybody in the meeting. I'm just checking my spelling, that's all. Yeah, there we go. Okay, it's the petersons.com. We like it for graduate students. What happens is that when you go on their website, they may ask you to sign up and all that. You don't have to do that. You can just go directly to the graduate school search and type in nutrition, and it'll show you all the universities in the US and Canada that offer master's programs in nutrition. And with a snapshot about each university, if you like what you read in that snapshot, then you can go to the university's website and verify. And like I spoke about in my talk about the criteria that's important to you, look and see whether the university meets those criteria that are important to you. Okay, so that's, and make a list of universities that you're interested in and send it to us, because that's what we're here for. We can help guide you as to whether you're being too ambitious, too safe, or whether it's a good list and things like that. That's what we're here for. Okay?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, wish you all the best, Janvi. We will request Swati Gandhi to, she has a question. Go ahead, Swati.
Yeah, hi. I wanted to inquire for my son. He's currently in the 11th grade, and he is interested in, he is in Jamnabai School, Mumbai. So he has taken the ISC stream science, and he is interested in pursuing architecture after 12th grade. So we are wanting to watch out for options after 12th if we can pursue architecture abroad, whether it will be recommended or pursuing architecture in Mumbai itself would be a better idea. And where in, like, for if we are going abroad, so where in US it will be, like, we need to figure out the universities and all.
I'm getting to you. I'm just typing something, the website, that's all.
Okay.
Okay, so I've mentioned the website. We like for undergraduate studies, we like bigfuture.collegeboard.org. It's a great website to use to search for universities in the US.
Okay, sir.
So I would go and look for universities that your son and you think are right for you all, and make a list, send it to us. We can help you with that. But you brought up a very, very interesting point, and that is, should we go for undergraduate studies or should we wait and go for masters? Okay.
Yeah, sir.
As Education USA, we always want people to study in the US, but as much as we like people to study in the US, we also have to keep in mind what's best for you. So you have to make a call for yourself. There are some very, very good colleges in India that offer architecture, and it's quite okay. And it's a lot cheaper to do your undergraduate studies in India and then go abroad for your masters if required.
Thank you so much.
On the flip side of that, let me complete. So
Okay.
that's one aspect. The cost are viable options in India. That being said, during an undergraduate studies in the US does offer considerable advantages. The biggest advantage that the US will offer is the flexibility of the studies. Now your son says that he wants to do architecture here, so he applies for an architecture college. What happens after 2 years if he finds out that he doesn't like it? You're kind of stuck. In the US, you have the flexibility of changing your mind. Okay? So, and in addition to that, you also have the all-round development that goes on. You develop writing skills, communication skills, and other skills from being part of US classroom. So if you can afford it, US makes, for undergraduate studies, makes a lot of sense. However, the Indian option should also never be taken off the table.
Okay. So that's quite a good opinion, sir. Very helpful to know this. And I'll definitely go through the website you suggested. Can you just name it again? I actually missed noting it down.
It's the bigfuture.collegeboard.org. It's in the chat.
It is in the chat.
It's in the
Okay.
chat.
Okay, I'll check it out. Okay, sure. Thank you.
I'm going to request Manan Haqqani to ask his question. Go ahead, Manan.
Hello, sir. I am currently in third year of my BSc Computer Science course. So I'll be graduating in the next year.
Which school?
So my options are like I want to do MS in Computer Science in USA. So what are my options? Like I have researched a little bit and I know that I have to do 1 year, 4 year of courses before I can apply for US, right? So what are my choices? Like I should do master's year first or 1 year graduate diploma course?
Yeah, that's a question by many people, Mr. Pereira, that Indian graduation is 15 years and US asks for 16 years. Good question, Manan.
Yeah.
Which college are you from, Manan?
MBLU College from Andheri, opposite of Chennai.
Chennai, okay, that's right. It's not in my region. That's right. Good for you. Let's get with there are two points that I want to make. The first is the easier one. 3-year undergraduate degree. Are you eligible for higher studies in the US? The answer is that it depends on the college you're from. And it also depends on the US university that you're applying to. There are a number of US universities that will consider a 3-year undergraduate degree from India as equivalent to their 4-year undergraduate degree. They may ask you to do what is called a credential evaluation. There are multiple organizations in the US that will do this. One of them is the World Education Services, WES, and the other one is ECE, Education Credential Evaluators. So either of those, if you contact them and send them your grades for the first and second year of your undergraduate degree, plus the syllabus of the third year, they'll be able, it costs about $200 for a fee. They will be able to convert that and see whether it is equivalent to the US undergraduate degree. Okay. That being said, if WES or ECE says that it's equivalent to the US degree, doesn't mean that a US university has to accept it. Generally speaking, they will, but they operate independently. They can make their own decisions. Which brings me to my second point. So that's your option. If you want to do a diploma, I would recommend that you do the full master's in India and then do the CS again, the specialization. And the reason for that is my second point. I'm not going to discourage you, but you should be aware of this. Admission to the computer science programs in the US is quite challenging. Okay? You can be a very, very good student, but it's so competitive. Somebody with a 3-year undergraduate degree might struggle to be admitted to a decent school in the US. And that's part of the reason why I would recommend that you complete your master's in India. And if you can do that while doing a part-time job in computer science, even better. That will strengthen your case for being admitted to a good US university in the US. Okay, so that's my advice to you. Nothing stopping you from applying for 2022, but it will be challenging.
Okay, Mr. Pereira has given a very good advice. A lot of people, those who ask the question on chat, कि ये 15 साल का एजुकेशन है तो क्या करना है, तो what Mr. Pereira is saying is complete the masters in India, do a job part time, and then apply after you're completing the master for applying for the double master in US. Okay, we have Shilen Mehta. He's going to ask a question. Go ahead, Shilen.
I am a software engineer staying at Bangalore. This is for my son. He is going to pursue MBBS in India. So what would be the approximate cost for post-graduation? And is it advisable to do post-graduation in USA?
At some point, the difficult questions will always come in. So with the MBBS, what you'll have to do is you'll probably be looking at doing your residency programs in the US. So for that, you'll have to go to there's an organization called ECFMG. They are the people who are the authority for training, for the process of getting the international medical students for advanced training to the US. So you have to contact them. They are the people who will issue you your J1 visas and all that for your residency program. So you will be applying for the residency program in the US. And if you're selected, the residency program is usually a paid internship. So there's no cost to your end for that. But again, you have to go through ECFMG and you have to do the USMLE exam.
Yeah. So at what time we should start for USMLE? In his third year of graduation, we can eligible to apply, or after completion?
No, you start do the first exam, which is usually anatomy and biochemistry, which you've done in your first year MBBS. So you want to do that step 1 as soon as possible while the stuff is still fresh in your mind. And then the part 2, you will get instructions about it from ECFMG.
Yeah. So how much duration he has to complete at US after UCMLE to get his stipend?
It's a residency program. So the stipend, as part of being a resident, you automatically get the stipend.
Okay.
So there's no because basically you're a doctor in training. You're not getting the full doctor salary, but you're getting the mini doctor salary.
Yeah, and is it advisable to do it at the US, or it is advisable to do at Canada?
I can't speak for that. I can only talk about the US. Okay, but as I mentioned in my previous advice, our advice will always be keep all your options open. We'd love to see him in the US, but keep all your options open.
Your voice is breaking.
Yeah. What happens is that we would love to, I can't give you specific advice about Canada or US. We would love to see him in US, but keep all your options open.
Yeah, and can we visit the Bangalore office locally?
Yes, you can.
For any kind of advice?
Yes, the Bangalore office is run by the Yashna Trust.
Mm-hmm.
But if you just search for on the Education USA website, you will get their contact information.
Okay.
And
Thank you so much, Mr. Shilen.
Just one second, Hiren.
Yeah.
Shailin, I'm not going to be. This is not targeted towards you specifically, but in general, when somebody is applying for graduate studies in the US, we generally like to have the students do the talking, because at that stage, they should be taking control of their careers. Okay? I'm just saying that.
No, he's sitting beside me.
I know, I saw him. That's why he's quiet. That's okay. Yeah.
Okay,
Go on.
Tusha, go ahead. Tusha.
Hello,
Tusha, please go
namaste.
ahead.
Am I audible?
You
You
are.
are.
Yes, namaste. First of all, it was quite an insightful and fruitful session to hear you all. So currently I'm from Vadodara, Gujarat, and I'm in 12th grade. So further, I'm interested in political science and thinking to go there for master. So one question I also have this that is it better to go for a master's or after 12? And secondly, that which is the prominent university for political science in USA, or I have heard about the University of Cambridge and Oxford, and also for London University of Political Science in UK. So I want more information on this about USA. And thirdly, I also wanted to ask that what are further the income generating options in this field?
All right. Let's deal with them one at a time. Income generating options is the easy one to deal with. You can easily go to the US Department of Labor or their website and get all the statistics for all the jobs that are out there and what the median salaries are. That's available for anybody to view. With regard to your questions, whether to go after the 12th standard or after masters, it's completely up to you. As I mentioned earlier, we do like people studying in the US, but you need to keep in mind the expense. And if you can afford it, the undergraduate studies in the US makes a lot of sense. It develops you as an all-round person. But doing a bachelor's in India, especially since you are from Vadodara and you have MS University right there, it's also a very viable option. You can do the master's, the bachelor studies in Vadodara, and then go abroad later on. Both are very viable options.
And she wanted to ask about the political science university, right, Tusha?
Yeah, so the Paul Sai
Yes,
University, the Paul Sai University, as you mentioned, the big names in the UK, one can rattle off big names in the US, but it doesn't mean anything. Okay, just because there are big name universities in the US doesn't mean that they're right for you, and that is the critical aspect of this. The universities that you attend should be right for you, not just because it has a big brand name. So
right.
go to the Peterson's website, make a list of universities that you think are right for you, contact us, and we'll be happy to help you. And remember, we also have an Education USA office in Ahmedabad, which is just a 1-hour drive from Vadodara.
Right,
Okay, so,
exactly.
so use us, that's what we're here for. But your specific question about universities, understand that we represent all the accredited universities, so we can't play favorites. I can't just rattle off names for you. Okay? You need to come to us with some list of universities where you've done the homework, and then we can get involved.
Right, right.
Good luck with that.
Okay.
We'll surely contact you, sir, further.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
Tusha, wish you all the best. Go
Thank
ahead,
you,
Isha.
sir.
Isha, please,
Yeah,
please go ahead.
hello. Yeah, am I audible?
You are.
Yeah, thank you, sir, first of all, for the insights. And I'm currently pursuing my PhD, and I am in the third year of my PhD. And currently, my PhD project is also sponsored by a company from US. And so I would like to know, after completion of my PhD, I mean, what is the procedure if I would like to procure a job at US or doctoral studies at the US?
What are you studying? PhD. What is your field of study? No, you're on mute.
Yeah, can you hear me
Yes.
now?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm pursuing PhD in pharmaceutical sciences, and this is my I'm on the verge of completion. So this is my final year of the PhD. So I am into formulation development, and I would like to pursue postdoctoral studies at US, or probably look for a job at US after completion of my PhD. So can you suggest, I mean, how should I go about with it?
I can't speak about specific jobs because I'm not an expert in that. It might be a little bit challenging. What I can tell you is I would recommend that you look for a postdoc first. And being in pharmaceutical sciences and all, you've read all the scientific journals like Nature, Science, and all those. I would look at the Science magazine has something called Science Mag, and they have a career services section, which has a list of all postdoctoral opportunities in the US. I would strongly recommend that you look at that. And also the other thing is that when you've done all your readings for your doctoral thesis, you know who's doing research in this area, just write to them a one or two line, and I'm completing my PhD, I'm looking for a postdoc. Do you have any openings in your lab? That's it. But keep it in your initial email, just keep it very, very brief. Okay, just one or two lines, that's it. If they have positions and they're interested, then you can get into the what are the projects and your CVs and all that. But initially, keep it very brief. They don't have time for anything else.
Yeah.
But good luck
And
with that.
sir, secondly, how is it about the visa? I mean, is it the J1 visa that I have to apply for, or
it depends on the universities. For postdocs, they could either be the J1 or some universities will give you the H1 visa. It really depends on the universities. When I was at Cornell, I was on the H1 visa. But I know some other postdocs are on J1 visa. So it depends.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Isha. I'm going to request Hitali. There are a lot of questions. Why don't you schedule all the questions one by one? I think Prachi was next. Okay, Prachi Doshi, go ahead.
Yes, hello, am I audible?
Yeah, Prachi is.
Okay, so currently I'm a master's psychology student studying in India, and I aspire to do child psychology in the US. So what is it like to know, is there any prominent difference from graduating from a college and a university, or is it the same? And what if I graduate from college and or a university, what could be the job limitations or the advantages? So like, how is it like? What do you prefer, like graduating from a university or a college?
When you talk about what do I prefer, are you referring to your Indian college?
No, the US.
It really doesn't. And you're looking for a doctoral or a master's, second master's?
Second master's.
It really doesn't matter so much whether the university is called a college or whether it's called a university. So that's just semantics. Okay? What matters is the education that you're getting and the skills that you're developing while you're in the US. That's what's critical in this process. So look for things that will help you beef up the skills that you require for your career. And whether it's offered by a college or whether it's offered by a university is not that important. Good luck.
Thank you.
Prachi is an active volunteer of Global Kapol Vikas. Thank you, Prachi, for all your help. Okay, Hitali, please schedule everything. Schedule the questions.
Okay, yeah. So Dev, you can go next. Dev, we can't hear you.
Very, very soft.
Hello.
Yeah, you'll have to speak up.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah.
Second year PhD.
Dev, your voice is breaking.
Dev, your voice is breaking. Let's take Hemali Sangvi first, and then after that, Dev, you can speak by the time you fix up your mic.
Okay.
Go ahead, Hemali.
Hello everyone, I'm Hemali and I'm currently a third year medical student in the state of Telangana. So I'm studying in top third government college right now in Telangana. So my question to Mr. Ryan is, what is the scope for Indian medical graduate in leadership and management in healthcare industry in USA? I mean, how blooming is the industry, leadership and management industry in USA?
Okay, Himali, I started this talk by telling y'all that Education USA provides accurate, comprehensive, and current information. And this is one of those questions that I have to take a step back because I really, really don't know the answer to that. Okay. So because we want to provide accurate information and I cannot provide accurate information in this specific aspect, what I would recommend you do is just do a Google search for ECFMG.
Okay. I have an if I can interrupt you, I have an idea about ECFMG, USMLE, and the medical residency, but I just want to take a step, a collateral, and I want to pursue leadership and management in healthcare industry and not medical residency as such.
Okay.
So what is the scope for?
So you're looking more at a master's program in leadership,
Right? Because I believe
or something like MHA or hospital administration or something like that.
Yes. Because I believe I have better leadership skills rather than a physician or patient care skills. So I would rather like to take a collateral into healthcare industry.
Yeah, I would. In that case, I would recommend that you go to some of the websites of these universities like MCPHS and all that offers this MHA programs. Well, the MCPHS is Massachusetts Community Health Program. The well-known medical science college, not a medical school, medical science college in Boston. So they have a lot of these MHA programs, and there are others across the US. I would recommend you look at some of them, and you either contact the current students via LinkedIn and find out especially international students, and find out what their options are and how they read the tea leaves to get a better understanding of what you might experience.
Are there like medical graduates who are coming to US and pursuing MBA?
Of course.
If I can get some contacts.
See, one of the things about my job, I know there's Richa's on this list. I got a private message from her, who's one of the students I helped. But by and large, once the students leave for the US, they're out of my purview. So it's very hard for me to keep track and remember who is gone. So I don't have, and that being said, even if I did have their information, I wouldn't be able to share it because the privacy issues would stop me from sharing that. So it's much better you use the resources that are available like LinkedIn and do this homework on yourself.
Sure.
Good luck.
Sure. Thank you.
Okay, Kaushal, you can ask the next question. Kaushal? Hello?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, so hi Ryan, I am a working professional and I have done my bachelor's in computer science from Mumbai. And I want to pursue master's in management information systems or data analytics, one of those. So what according to you are the job scope in USA with regards to job in that field? Should I go for that or just continue my master's in computer science?
I will never tell you which field to study. Okay, that's just not my position. It's your career. You know, you have a fairly good idea of what I would advise all students who are asking for help. Always tell them, visualize. Where do you see yourself in 10 or 15 years? What kind of job do you see yourself doing? Do you see yourself doing a data scientist job? Do you see yourself doing a job as a computer science, or do you see yourself crunching numbers as a part of an MIS student? Where do you see yourself? And do you think you'll be happy in that position? And based on that, you should pick which field. There's also a website called masterinddatascience.com, which has a lot of useful information on what a data scientist actually does. So I would recommend that you go to that website and have a much better understanding of what a data scientist does. It sounds very glamorous, but when you actually see what they do, you might have a very different opinion.
Correct.
Excellent. I'm so happy to see an exciting engagement by all of you. So we will, those who raise the hand, we will cover their questions. And after that, those who have some extra questions, I'm going to request Hitali and Alpar and Pragnaben and everybody who are the volunteers to put their phone numbers in the chat so that the Kapol student and other student can contact you and you can take the question, get the question answered by Mr. Ryan Pereira. Okay, who is next, Hitali now?
Yeah, Neil Dalal, please go ahead.
Yeah, I am father of Neil Dalal, myself Manish. We are based in Dubai, and my son is into engineering, third year engineering at NIT Tiruchirappalli in mechanical engineering. And he has done his 12th from here, and then he has chosen NIT Trichy as for engineering on the basis of SAT score, basically. And now he wants to pursue masters in engineering management after the 4th year in US. So, I mean, two questions. I mean, he should apply through India, through GRE, or there are options via Dubai also to enter US for studies. I mean, in what way?
Okay, let's do. That's an easy question. He can apply from anywhere in the world. Okay? Since he's currently in India, he should just go ahead and do it from India.
Okay. And about the masters in engineering management, the course itself.
How is the future of that course?
Yeah, I'm trying to debate whether to be brutally honest with y'all or not. That's why.
Please be. The kid is listening, so better.
Yeah. Engineering management is a very niche field. There are 4 or 5 really good engineering management programs in the US. And there are a lot more others that are so and so. They're good, they're decent, but not great. It really depends on what the student visualizes his job profile to be. Very often, people who go into a program of engineering management think that they'll have the best of both worlds. They'll have the engineering exposure plus the management exposure. And so they think they'll be able to double dip, as it will, both have the engineering degree and have management. But that's not always true. If the student's goal is to climb the corporate ladder in a management cadre, then he's going to find it very difficult to do it with an engineering management degree over somebody who has a pure MBA. So if that is his goal, then the engineering management may not be right for him. If the goal is to keep his technical knowledge going right through and have some aspect of some growth in his career through the management, then the engineering management makes perfect sense. Or if his goal is to work mostly in production and engineering and things like that, then having that engineering background with some management would help. Okay? But if his goal is to climb the corporate ladder, it's going to be very difficult. Not impossible, difficult.
Okay. And actually, he IIT ranker, and he got a pharmaceutical engineering as a choice, but then he was not keen in that, so he didn't go for the IIT, and then he chose the NIT. So that IIT ranking will give a good credential to US admission, or how?
It carries no weight at all.
Oh, okay.
But that being said, he's already at a really well-respected school, so what does it matter?
Okay, fine.
So don't worry about all that.
Fine.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you for your frank opinion about engineering management. Thank you so much.
Okay. Dev, you can go next.
Hello, sir. Am I audible now?
Yes.
Hello.
Hold it close to you.
Yes, sir. Sir, I'm in second year of BSc I'm pursuing from Metabolic College. So as you said, that
a 3 years course is not eligible for pursuing masters in US. But sir, I've heard about NAAC rank, and my college is having good ranking in NAAC. So, sir, that would be a consideration for eligibility for 3 years.
Yes. Dev, if you have to apply via WES, World Education Services, for your credential evaluation, they had come out with a recommendation that anybody who has the equivalent of 60% from an Indian college, which is A graded by NACAC, which is Mithibai College, that will be equivalent to a US 4-year undergraduate degree. Okay? So I would recommend that you get the WES evaluation done. Again, as I mentioned, it's not mandatory for the US universities to accept it, but a lot of them will.
Sir, could you please repeat that again?
Yeah. So if you have 60% in your first 2 years, and since you're from Mithibai College, which is A grade, then your WES evaluation should be show that you're equivalent to a US 4-year degree. Okay, that's their policy that they had come up with a couple of years ago. So I would recommend that you do that and then go from there.
And sir, what would be more recommended? As I want to do my master's in chemistry, so doing master's only or integrated master's and PhD for applying both. So what would be rather more?
You love stirring the pot, don't you? What happens is that changes things completely. If your long-term position is to do a PhD, I would strongly recommend that you do your master's from India and then go abroad directly for the PhD. Because that, for one thing, the PhD in chemistry is almost surely going to be fully funded in the US. So there will be absolutely no expense on your part. The second is that there are really, really good chemistry master's programs right here in Mumbai. You have ICT and all those. And you don't have to worry about getting your degree evaluated and all that. You don't have to worry about the 4 years education and things. So keep all that in mind, okay? There's nothing stopping you from going for the master's. And if you want to go for the master's and PhD in the US, I would recommend that you do not do the integrated program unless they're providing you funding for it. And the reason I would say that is if you're going to be paying for your master's, you pay for the master's and then try and upgrade to an even better school for your PhD. So that's my advice.
Okay. Thank you, Dev, for your question. Harsh, you can go ahead.
Hi. So actually, I'm pursuing my final year in mechanical right now from Dr. D.Y. Patil Institute in Pune. So actually, I'm planning for an admit at fall 22. I have narrowed down 3 courses, but I cannot go further. So there's industrial engineering, automobile engineering, and robotics. So can you guide me which should be a better course for me, or any site that can help me with that?
Obviously, I'm not going to tell you what course to do. That's off the table. With regard to trying to understand how you can help yourself, I would first look at some of the universities that offer these various programs and see the courses, the curriculum, and what you're actually going to get out of these particular courses, the robotics or the industrial programs. The second thing, so that's one thing. The second thing is try and visualize what is your dream job or where do you see yourself. And then go on LinkedIn and see who are doing these jobs and what kind of background do they have. Do they have a background in robotics or do they have a background in industrial? That will help you answer which program you should be pursuing. Okay? Don't worry about it.
Okay, thank you. Kanchi, you can go next. Kanchi, you have to unmute yourself. We can't hear you. Okay, we'll take someone else.
Let Keshwi ask her question. Kashwi ask her
Hello.
question. Yeah, okay. Kanchi is fine.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Firstly, thank you so much for your great insight. It was a very pleasure to be here. Myself, Kanchi Mehta, pursuing right now company secretary from commerce background in India. So I just want to ask you, like, after second year of CS and with BCom I'm doing side by side. But I just want to ask what I have to do masters after CS in USA, and what is that scope is.
Kanchi, this is another aspect that I really don't have the answers for. I do not know enough. I do not know enough about the company secretary and what are the options after you graduate with that program. So I have to defer on that. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, no problem. Actually, your CS board has been connected with 7 countries, but it doesn't include USA. That is the main problem.
That's part of it. That's part of the reason why I don't know enough about it.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
what is the US equivalent is I just don't have that idea.
Yeah, and from here I can get masters by LLB, but it would be very different because America law is different and I am learning
Exactly.
from India. So for that, I think I have to go like back to study much more.
Yeah.
I will not get any exemption from USA, I think so.
That's part of it. But I'm not 100%, so I'd rather not say.
No problem. No, I have to do research.
But good luck.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks.
Yes, Kashvi, go ahead.
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go on.
Hello, sir. So I'm currently studying in Standard 10th in Gujarat, Bhavnagar over here, and I am a national level table tennis player. So I want to know about sports courses over there.
Sports courses.
Yes,
Maybe a little. What exactly do you mean by sports courses?
I can how can I pursue more about and can play table tennis in future and study too, like that.
That's a very, very different thing. Okay. What you're asking is how can I pursue my undergraduate studies in the US while continuing as a table tennis player?
Yes.
You're in luck because one of my colleagues here who works in my office, his younger brothers, they're twins. They're both also national level table tennis players, and they're both based in the US right now. So what I will do is get in touch with me, and I will pass on Manmohan Thorat's contact, and he will put you in touch with his brothers. You might as well hear it directly from them because they'll be able to tell you exactly how to balance your life as a student and as a table tennis player. Okay, I put my email address in the chat box so you can get it from there. Just reach out to me and ask me for Manmohan's contact. I'll be happy to share it.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Good luck. Good luck.
Okay. Thank you, Kashvi. Manan, you can go next.
Sir, are there
Go on. No, you're mute. Can't hear you.
Yes.
So are there courses are there scope for commerce in USA?
Oh, when you're talking about commerce, what aspect do you want? All business studies and all MBA programs are all based on commerce.
Yeah, so particularly finance.
Yeah, so there are courses, there are so many people in the Kapol community who will be far, far better able to answer this than me. And you have those resources. Okay, you have Pragna and all who can help you with that. So please, but there are plenty of opportunities for commerce graduates. Okay, you can either do a master's in finance or you could do an MBA in finance. and then your career from there.
And so what if we do a CFA?
A CFA might be a little more challenging. It's well recognized here. It's also recognized to some extent in the US, but it might be a little more challenging. You're better off doing a pure master's program in the US.
Yeah, like, doesn't it add more value?
It adds a lot. It adds a lot of value. Having the CFA designation adds a lot of value, but it won't open the doors that you need to be opened in the US without a degree from the US. You need to first open those doors, then you can use your CFA designation for later on.
So only CFA won't work, or?
That is correct.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Good luck.
Okay, thank you.
Hetali, just 1 minute. Pankaj Bhai has to go. Pankaj Bhai Mehta is one of our very strong supporter for Kapol community. He's based in California. Pankaj Bhai, would you like to just say hello to everybody before you leave? Unmute kar, Pankaj Bhai.
Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone. Mr. Pereira, I really appreciate your guiding to these Aspire students for their future planning to migrate to US for further study. And I really appreciate everyone to join here. I'm sorry I have to leave. I have guests from the other states that they want to leave. So I want to be with them before they leave. I really appreciate everyone. If anybody has any question, I will note down my cell number here and they can contact me in general. I'm not expert in the education. However, any other help that I can extend, being in Los Angeles, I will do my best for any students, for future students. Thank you very much, Mr. Pereira and everyone, Hitenbhai, Alpaben, Hetali, and all the Kapol volunteers that they are present here and they could not join. All of them, I really appreciate them for their hard work. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Pankaj Bhai.
I will note down my cell number here.
Mr. Pereira, we are really blessed. Our community is blessed because we have very strong people like Pankaj Bhai, Pragna Ben, Neela Ben, who are in US, but their heart is in India and their heart is with the community. Okay, go ahead, Karan. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Yes.
Hi,
am I audible?
Okay, so there are two Karan. Okay, Karan Mehta, you go on, and then the next Karan can go.
Yeah,
Am I audible?
Okay.
Yeah, you're audible.
Okay, so first of all, thank you so much for your words. They were really helpful. It was a very nice seminar. And I'm pursuing my engineering in computer science and I'm starting my 3rd year. And I would like to ask, so when is the right time to start for GRE? And I am more directed towards data science. So like when you apply for undergraduate, I'm aware that you can apply as an undeclared major. So is there a same thing for masters as well? So that's my question.
Okay, let's deal with the GRE stuff first. We like the GRE to be done by 12 months before you start this application process. So if you're in the 3rd year, you should complete the GRE by the end of your 3rd year, summer next year. June next year, you should have taken the GRE. The last date to do the GRE would be around September 2022. So that if you're applying for August 2023. So that's taken care of. The second part of the question is, are there undecided programs, general programs in CS or data science? If you're applying for data science, there's just a general data science program. That's it. Okay. However, there are programs where you can apply for the masters in computer science and specialize in data science, and that could give you the option of keeping all your options open. Because if you don't like the data science courses, you could just do a general CS. But again, as I mentioned earlier, applying for CS programs in the US at the master's level, challenging. Not impossible, challenging. But good luck. Do well on your GRE, really, really well.
Okay, thank you, Karan. We have another Karan. Yes, you can go on.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello, I'm Karan's mother. He's not with me just now. Actually, my son, he's in IIT Bombay and pursuing the chemical engineering.
Okay.
But now he want to shift his stream. He want to go for the machine learning. So is it possible to go for master in machine learning if he has done the bachelor in the chemical engineering?
One of the advantages of being of the US education system is its flexibility. And so if is it possible? Yes, it's possible for him to switch. Is it easy? No, it won't be easy. But it is possible. What he will have to do is in his application essays, he will have to really explain how he's going to use all the skills and knowledge he learned from chemical engineering in machine learning. So that is going to be absolutely critical. There will be some US universities that will say, no, you don't have the background in computer science to deal with machine learning, our master's program. That's going to happen. So he'll have to spend a little more time looking for universities which are more open to having people shift from a different field into computer science and machine learning. But it is possible.
Okay.
Okay,
So
thank
how?
Oh, okay, sorry. Please go on. You are
Hello.
mute. Yes, please.
Hello. Actually, just I want to ask you, sir. Then how can you help us? Means if I approach your office, then
Yeah, we can help, but we still want him to do some homework first. As I mentioned, when we help students, it's not just we are spoon feeding the children. We expect them to do work. They have to do the first step of the work. They have to search for universities on that. We'll talk to them about how to search for universities, but they have to put in the work and then we can get involved.
sir, he has done the project in machine learning in chemical engineering
That's
with
very,
his
very
professor.
useful. That's very, very useful. That will certainly help his case.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Good luck. Good luck.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, Sanket Mehta, you can go on.
Yeah, Italy, how are you?
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, I would like to thank Pragna Didi, Mr. Rayan, all the organizers and admin to organize this such a beautiful event for all our Kapol youngsters and many others. So thank you to throw a light how to go to US for studying to shape your beautiful career. So that's it. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Yes, Ash, please go on.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, sir, for your explanation. So my question is, I am a US citizen and I have been living in India for the past few years. So am I eligible for the federal aid program?
Yes, if you have a US passport, you're eligible to apply for FAFSA.
Okay. And sir, one more
Hold
question.
on.
Okay, sorry.
Have you registered or have your parents registered for the STEP program? Do they get emails from the US consulate?
Yeah, they get emails. Like I recently renewed my passport, so they get emails from the embassy, US
Okay.
embassy.
You live in North India?
No, I live in Mumbai.
Okay. So then you should be registering with the Mumbai consulate, the STEP program. Because the reason I'm telling you this is because at least once a year, the US consulate in Mumbai does a program. They have a town hall for US citizens, and during that town hall, I do a special talk meant for US citizens on applying for the FAFSA and everything. So that way you'll get the information about these programs. That's why it's good to do that.
Sir, I have one more question. So I am planning to apply for fall 2022 batch. So I registered for the SAT in May, but it got cancelled. So now many universities are deciding to go optional. So should I give the test?
It's completely up to you. It's completely up to you. If first and foremost, you should look at the university that you want to apply to. If there is any university that you want to absolutely want to apply to, and they require the SAT, then you have to do it. If the universities you want to apply to say it's optional, then you don't need to do it.
Yeah, like recently the University of California decided to make the
That's
SAT optional. So I even emailed many universities, so they told me that it's not compulsory.
A very large number of universities have made it optional for 2022 as well. But,
Okay,
but
so
just
like-
check with the university that you really want to apply to. That's really important.
And sir, I am applying for TOEFL now. So like, what would be a perfect score?
Perfect score on the TOEFL is 120.
Yeah, like how much do you require to get into most?
There's no such thing as how much you require. With the TOEFL, if a university says our minimum requirement is 80 and you score 81, you're eligible for the university. It doesn't matter whether you have 81 or whether you have 117. Whereas if in the SAT, well, the maximum is 1600, there's a big difference between somebody who has 1400 and somebody who has 1550.
Yeah.
So don't break your head over the TOEFL.
Oh, like it's just to prove your English proficiency.
Exactly.
Oh, so like it doesn't matter for scholarships and all.
It depends on the university. By and large, it's not. It's more about your academic ability rather than your English speaking skills.
Thank you, sir.
Good luck.
Okay, Janvi Doshi, please go ahead.
Yeah, Hiten, actually on behalf of Janvi, first of all, I would like to have a question. Actually, it is I need to talk to Pragnaman in particular. So, Pragnaman, are you there on the forum right now?
He's here. Go ahead.
Okay, Pragnaman, Jai Shri Krishna Pragnaman. Basically, I want to ask one question pertaining to the various means you have suggested for financing. So especially this question I'm asking for my son who is just pursuing his 10th, and down the line after 6-7 years, if he wants to pursue his education in US, then as you have mentioned that being parents, one should start gathering funds right from childhood. But now since he's already 15, so it may be too late, but it said that better to be late than never.
Yes.
So in that case, if I see down the line for next 6-7 years, if I have to save at least 10 lakh rupees per year, then only I'll be able to accumulate somewhere, because looking at the inflation and the rupee to dollar today, it is 75. Maybe after 5 years, it can be 100 rupees. So in that case, of course, I'll take the technical advice from my CA. But for this fund, I have to. There is any escrow account kind of thing that I can buy US money, or please?
Let me tell you, it's better late than never for saving the fund for the college students. That's wonderful. But are you living in USA or
Mumbai?
US?
No, Mumbai.
Mumbai. Okay. So this was basically for USA, but there are a lot of other options which I can definitely suggest you, and I can give you some more contacts. And definitely for Mumbai, how to save the fund for USA, it is little difficult for me to answer right now, but I'll just step back, I'll research, and I'll definitely let you know. So what's your phone number I can reach, and your name and email ID?
I'll mention in the chat box.
That's wonderful. And I'll get from there. And thanks for asking the questions, and trust on our GKV. Thank you.
Okay, go ahead. Ryan would like to ask Ryan something. Ryan, please go ahead.
Just to follow up on that, I am aware that there are some new options available right here in Mumbai with some financial houses where you can put in the money for higher education and buy the dollars at today's rate and lock it in. So that option is available right here. So just talk to somebody with ICICI or somebody like that, and they should be able to provide you that kind of information.
This is a very good question, what Mr. Doshi has asked and what Mr. Pereira said. Indian government does allow the investment in dollars now. So if you start saving, let's say $10,000 or $5,000 per year over a period of 6-7 years, you will accumulate enough money for the education of child in US. Great question, Mr. Doshi.
I'll add something else to that.
Yeah.
It's always, I see a lot of parents on this call, which is very nice. One of the things is that the Indian tradition is that the parents are going to take care of everything, raise all the money and make sure everything is in line and all that. That's all very well and good. It's nice to have that. I would take a slightly different approach on that. I would say save all the money, yes, but don't use it for the education. Put it on the child's responsibility and act as the backup in case they run into trouble. Okay? When they have that loan around their neck, it makes them work harder. Don't just give them, oh, yeah, you want to live in a fancy apartment, here's the money and all that. Let them work for it, understand how important the value of money is.
What an incredible session it has been, Mr. Pereira. We are really grateful for your deep knowledge, your patience. You've been so patient and you've been so accurate in your communication. You made a big difference to our community, and we are very grateful for the time, the expertise, the knowledge that you shared. And on behalf of our community and Global Kapol Vikas, Mansi Mehta is going to present a word of thanks. Go ahead, Mansi Mehta.
Hello, sir. I am Mansi, and actually, I'd really like to thank you for explaining each and every step of right from researching our options to how to apply, and to getting the letter to getting the final letter, and that was really insightful and helpful for us. And secondly, the way you answered the questions. Actually, I'm pursuing architecture. I'm in the 5th year right now. And the first question, I guess, a person over here asked about, going to SCAD and everything. So yeah, that was really helpful for me as well. So thank you so much. And I'll be speaking for everyone over here that this session was really helpful for us. Thank you.
Okay, and we have some people said that their mic is not working. We had one question from Yeshwi. She said that she's doing, I think, she wanted to do CPA.
She wants to do the CPA in the US, yeah.
Yeah.
The CPA in the US is more of a designation. It'll be hard to, as an international student, to pursue a career with a designation. So, as I mentioned earlier, it might be better to pursue a degree. Yeah, I know Pragna has to say something. My opinion would be it's better to pursue a degree rather than just a designation, unless she plans to come back and do the work in India with the CPA designation. There are a number of people, big business houses here, they require who do all this trade. They require people with CPA designations. So in that situation, it would be useful. But if the person intends to try to work in the US, it will be a little challenging. Go ahead, Pragna.
I will say about the CPA education and the title, pursuing CA title or education in India, it's it's very difficult for getting through CA exam, but it is very easy according to what I am learning from my environment and my friends and families, that just take the CA degree and come to USA. You just have to start giving exam, and there are only 4 papers, and looks like very simple. So once they become CPA, I am sure they can build their career here with the best organizations, but everything is committing and everything is hard work and ethics. That's what I just want to say.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Pragna Ben, for that contribution. And I'm going to request Prachi Doshi to offer, she also an active Global Kapol Vikas volunteer, to offer a vote of thanks to Pragnabin. Pragnabin is one of our own, but she has done a lot of hard work in preparing for the session today. Go ahead, Prachi.
Thank you, Hiten, uncle. So yes, firstly, thanks a lot to our GKV team and our youth volunteers for working diligently for, to make this session happen. As it is rightly said by Sir Swami Vivekanand, true guidance is like a, small torch in a dark forest. It does not really show everything at once, but gives you enough light to, for the next step to be very safe. So thanks a lot for being our Swami Vivekanand ma'am and sir today. And thanks a lot. Thanks for giving us deep insight as to how we can manage our financial aid when it comes to studying abroad. I remember you also shared some light on scholarships and visas, which was like a cherry on the top. And you also enlightened us on education loans from Indian banks for students who want to study in USA. And there was like a holistic understanding of what it is really like, what it does look like to study in USA. And like you perfectly said, that education costs, but no education costs more. So I completely agree with that. And thank you so much, both the speakers, for enlightening us and having, ending for Indians ending our Sunday on a really beautiful note.
Great, Prachi. What a great work all of you have done. And those youngsters, those who are interested, they can join Global Kapol because youth team, Mansi, Prachi, Hitali, and many others have actively worked in setting up this session. And looking at this tremendous response, it seems to me that we should call Mr. Pereira one more time and have a subject-wise training, mastered in technology or mastered in accounts or business management or something like that, so that you call a specific group of people. I can see that Mr. Pereira has such a great mastery on variety of subjects, on variety of disciplines. It was mesmerizing. It was so great to see him speak with authority and clarity and accuracy on so many topics. Okay, we will complete the session. Pranab, you want to add anything before we complete? And Mr. Pereira, you want to add? Yeah, go ahead.
Prachi, you have put me in such a great place that I have to work hard to be more good, because you have put me on like a very enlightened personality. And for that, definitely I will work hard and I will make sure that we all are working together. And definitely it is my honor to have everyone here and listening to me, because this was like a session was very like it is a wide subject, but I have to like put in one compact box. So anytime anybody needs any help, just call me, contact me. And one thing I want to talk about, Mr. Pereira, I learned something from you today, how to present the self. You have given us such a great demographic figures, which I was just in general. Of course, my topic also was in general, because it was like I cannot compare apple and orange, but you have done a marvelous job. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
We have this Kapol. Thank you, Pragnaben and Prachi and Mansi. We have Kapol event every second Sunday of every month. So next July, 13 July, we have an event called Kapol Got Talent. These are on different topics. The events are on different topics. The Kapol Got Talent is an event for those who want to express their talent, dance, singing, whatever talent that you have. And in the meantime, this Kapol youth team, if you want to call Mr. Pereira one more time, he's so gracious and so generous. I think he will come back again and guide and train our students. Mr. Pereira, would you like to say the last word before we complete the session today?
Yeah, I just want to say it was such a pleasure and an honor to be part of this event. I had no idea what I was signed up for, but I was so thrilled to see the interactions and the questions. I love it. You have a good event when there's so many questions that students have. I really, really enjoyed it. Thank you so much for including me in this conversation. And I'd love to come back again and do more talks with y'all.
Okay, Prachi, Bansi, Hitali, this is your opportunity. He's available. Okay, then see you everybody. See you next month in July on Kapol Got Talent event. Okay, everybody, thank you very much once again. Bye-bye.
Bye.